welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another JVS review of the hit CW DC Universe show, Stargirl. So, right now we're on episode 9, but before we get into episode 9, give out some of the good news. Stargirl was renewed for a second season. I think earlier this week it was renewed for a second season, but the downside is it will no longer be on DC Universe. It will be a exclusive CW show. So, I mean, it's goods and bads with that, I guess. If you're a fan of just watching it on the CW, it's a great thing. If you're someone who has fallen in love with the show off of DC Universe, it's not the best thing. But again, at least we have a second season, so we know we're going to get a continued story of these great characters after the conclusion of this season. So, on this episode, we're episode 9, which is entitled Brainwave. Quickly give you a synopsis of it. Tensions rise amongst the JSA members after Courtney suggests she wants to recruit the next team member. Barbara invites Jordan and his family over for dinner. Henry Jr. makes a surprising discovery about his father. So, quickly, let's get to the point of this episode. It starts off with a nice backstory of Brainwave as we finally see something of the past of Injustice Society member, and we see him coming into his powers. Not only coming into his powers, we see him killing the first person he's ever killed before, which is, it's crazy the way they did it and the way it blends into where we left Henry off in episode 8 of him discovering who his father is. And at this point, we get Henry not only discovering the uniform of his father, seeing a picture of his mom, but also discovering archive footage of Brainwave as he was running tests on himself to see how his powers work. This is a very powerful moment, not only a powerful moment here at the beginning of the episode, but it's a powerful moment for the entire episode of Henry just going through archive footage of his father, talking about his powers, learning how to control his powers, and understanding why he was getting headaches because of his powers, which is a very sick reason. I don't know if it's explained this way in the comic books, but for it to be explained this way in the show is a very sick reason why Brainwave is getting headaches, even why Henry is getting headaches. It's a crazy reason. Again, I don't want to give it the reason just in case it's not in the comic books. I want you to see the episode and then give us your opinion on his powers, the way his powers work and the way they're activated, and the things he has to do to make sure his powers don't overtake him. Crazy setup. So, next thing is Pat coming up with the discovery that the Injustice Society, clearly he thought that after the Injustice Society killed the Justice Society, that they went to this small town just to escape. Now he's coming to the conclusion after the discovery of the Dragon King and everything with Cindy that it's a bigger plan in place. It's not them hiding as much as them coming here to put a plan in place, and it has Pat worried because he also brings up him and Starman were in another team before they joined the Justice Society of America, which is named, I want to get this right, people, which is named the 7 Knights of Victory. And again, me not being overly into the comic books, I find out the Crimson Avenger, which I knew about, the Shining Knight, which we kind of saw 2 episodes ago with Save Courtney, then also Red Arrow, Green Arrows, a lot of people that were in the 7 Knights of Victory, and Pat bringing up that he was a member of this team before joining the Justice Society, and that's how he knows about Dragon King, because him and his team defeated a plan of Dragon King. And again, it's nice the way they're putting all of this together, even the way they're backtracking and giving you Easter eggs of other DC characters, DC comics that you may not know about, just to blend into Stargirl's universe, which kind of makes me wonder, are we going to see a bigger, expanded universe eventually with these characters, which would be really, really dope if that's the direction they chose, especially now that this is an exclusive CW show. Maybe that's where they plan on going with this, with the CW, of exploring all these other team origins and things of that nature. Again, nice setup, crazy way to do it. I think, again, Stargirl knocks it out the park the way they set up things, and this is another great example of it in this episode. So, After that, we get quick footage of the Dragon King holding Sydney hostage. It's kind of crazy because, again, at the end of the last episode, we saw his minions grab her and bring her down into the sewer. In this episode, we finally get Sydney to tell us that she killed her mother, which was kind of foreshadowing. I think all of us knew that, but she admits it here. She attempts to threaten her father to let her go. Clearly, that doesn't work. It's a serious scene that's really funny, but still has serious ramifications, possibly moving forward of her relationship with her dad. It's a really funny thing, a really funny setup. And then after that, the rest of the majority of the subplots in the episode, I'll say that way before we get into the big stuff at the end. The subplots of the episode, including the team being upset with Courtney for wanting to recruit Henry. She wants to see the good in Henry. If you remember Yolanda and everything she went through with Henry, she wants nothing to do with them. That's a funny little subplot of this episode. Another funny subplot of this episode is Pat sending Beth off to discover about the tunnel system. That's all he's trying to figure it out. He feels that Beth discovered one tunnel, Courtney discovered one tunnel. So now, how big is this tunnel system, and what is the tunnel system's purpose? And he tries to put Beth and Rick on it. Rick tells him, of course, what Rick does. No, I'm not doing it. As Rick is off on his own attempting to decode his father's journal to find out what secrets may lie in there. So again, these are subplots, all like supporting the main story, which is Henry and Brainwave, and him attempting to not only awaken his father, but him attempting to learn more about his father. So this is a Henry-centric episode, and we have not had too many villain-centric episodes on this show. I think this may be the only true villain-centric episode of this show, which is kind of cool that you go back to the first villain to, in the 9th episode, do an episode really dedicated to him and his family. Really works well. It's something that I think people who love the character Brainwave are going to really, really enjoy. And the final thing before we get to the big conclusion of the episode was Barbara setting up a dinner with Jordan and his family. Again, it kind of seems like this whole season Jordan has been flirting with Barbara. And I don't know if it's trying to get to know her because of Courtney, perhaps, even though they've never been clear on that, or just him feeling infatuated with Barbara. But in this episode, we have that dynamic of Jordan and Barbara, and then his son and Courtney with their flirtatiousness, along with Pat and the grandparents. It's a weird mixture that, leads to the normal family dinner where things are revealed, but these are big reveals that happen because of this dinner. Because of this dinner, I think it sets ramifications up for the remaining episodes of this season. A lot of stuff is discovered. I want to say what it is. I cannot say what it is because it will spoil the episode, but just know the last 15 minutes of this episode are very crucial to Stargirl moving forward, and a lot of big reveals, a lot of big things that happen in this last 15 minutes. So you have to pay attention and check out the last 15 minutes, even if you miss the other parts of the episode, which are great. And I advise you not to miss it. But if you did, catch the last 15 minutes. The last 15 minutes sets up everything else moving forward, and you're going to pretty much enjoy this episode. So again, it's been episode 9 entitled Brainwave. It debuts tomorrow on DC Universe. Wow. I think this shit's going to be weird not saying debuts Monday on DC Universe, but it debuts tomorrow on DC Universe on Monday, and on Tuesday on the CW. This has been another JVS review, preview, however you want to say it, spoiler free, of Stargirl episode 9, Brainwave. Peace, people.